Hi, everyone, and welcome back to At the Table, the show that asks you to pull out your chairs, get your TTRPG books, and join us at the table. And you're just in time for the creation part. That's right, we are going to be building with you today. Now, if you may have seen one of our last episodes, we talked about alchemists. And of course, one of the best alchemists in the Edge of Legend world is the goblins, as they practice goblin science. So today, we're going to sit down and build some fun goblin science alchemical items that can be used to ruin your good day. But without further ado, let's do a quick introduction. Mr. Michael Powell, tell them who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Before I do that, PJ, you didn't say it right. It's goblin science.
Oh, that's right. I have to do it in the actual goblin science. There you go.
Exactly. As always, I'm Michael Powell, and you can find me on my social medias, which is usually at Mr. Kapow. That's MRKAPAO. And how about you, PJ?
My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw. When I'm not here on Tuesdays with Mr. Michael Powell, you can find me here as the GM for our Pathfinder 2nd Edition homebrew show, Edge of Legend. But without further ado, let's crack open our books, get our pencils, and come up with some very zany ideas because it's time to build goblin science.
Let's get to it.
We've been talking about alchemy, and a lot of alchemists happen to be a lovely little chaos called goblins. We thought we could work together to create a new goblin item. Now, if you remember on Edge of Legend, we had the Goblin Funny Bomb, and it had a series of effects and abilities, and it was all that kind of fun stuff. So let's come together and create more goblin, doesn't have to be bombs, but goblin alchemical items that will show up in Edge of Legend. So what we're going to do is anyone who just throws out an idea, we're going to start running with that idea. We're going to make sure we have a clear focus on that idea. And then we're going to decide things like the DC and the stages. Obviously, if it's a one-stage item, it's one stage. We don't worry about it. But what if it was a 4-stage or a 5-stage item that could last a week, a day, an hour, with different effects for each stages? So putting that out to the universe, chat, balls in your court. Let's see you knock it out.
Yep.
Mixed sports metaphors. Haha.
Well, honestly, I have an idea that I kind of want to throw out there right now, if you don't mind.
Sure.
It's a toxin or a poison called gobopox.
Gobopox.
Kind of like a chicken pox, but it's like goblins. Like you get green spots.
Sure. Well, there is already a spell called Goblin Pox.
Oh.
And you could, in theory, have an alchemist use that spell. So you're onto something. That definitely is not a bad idea, but it does exist. What if we could try to spin off of that? Try something else.
Oh, I got one. Like athlete's foot, call it gobbo foot.
Gobbo foot. Well, we could call it Gobbo foot. We could call it like scum toe or gross foot.
Or orc toe.
Orc toe. Yeah, I'm sure the orcs love that. Like, stop making fun of us because we have nasty feet. We don't wear shoes. It could be another bomb with, a very specific list of abilities. Maybe like 2 or 3 things. Could be a goblin disease. You could have like, oh gosh, like the goblin dogs are kind of like these gross. They almost look like the naked mole rats, but like in dog form. So you could have a goblin disease that does that, turns a person into straight up turns them into a goblin dog. Like you have to get rid of it within like a week, or else you become this kind of gross creature that becomes loyal to goblins.
Or I have another idea. What if it's some kind of solvent that basically makes you a part of a bloblin?
It's funny you mentioned that. I originally wanted to put in the place in the goblin cave. I wanted to put basically a bloblin in a vial, so you guys could, in theory, create organic housing for on the go. But instead, I went with Goblin Funny Bomb for all the potential combat purposes that weapon comes with.
But anyway, what of all the stuff that we've suggested so far, what do you think you want to just start off with? We should start something off, and then we have something else, and we'll do that.
Oh, well, let's see. If it comes down to me, I always like the kind of Like bomb. Yeah, we lost. There we go. We're back. Like a bomb or like an elixir of some kind.
Mm-hmm. I'm always down for. I'm honestly, you know what, you know me. I'm always down for a bomb. Unless it's a really bad movie, I'm not down for that though. But see, a bomb does sound interesting. I do like. I'm always a firm. I always really like those debuff bombs.
Those are good. Those are good. I think the issue that we're running into is that it's hard to come up with an idea because the alchemist items can be mixed and matched to do so many different things. So now we have to kind of
I just
combine
thought of something.
concepts. What's up?
What if it's kind of like a stink bomb? You end up. It's like a goblin stink bomb.
Okay, okay. Let me look at my cheat sheet of effects because I have some thoughts on that. There we go. Okay.
Like a noxious fume bomb or something like that. We'll call
Okay,
it.
how about
We'll call it a goblin breath bomb.
goblin breath? Oh, I think we have to go more lowbrow. I think we should call it like
Gobble
know.
farts.
I mean, without saying the word fart, but yeah, something like. And let's
Gobble
we don't
gas.
have-
Gobble gas.
well, we don't have to use the word gobbo. I think we can just say like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a name that like a goblin would call it. Well, if we go with the way I make goblins talk, we can call it like.
do it. I was gonna say, like tooting beans or something.
Like I was going to say, I think they could call it something like, not like kindergartners, but more like just people that don't. They have words that they combine to make different words. So if it's gonna be like a stink bomb, it could be like smelly gas boom screen or something like that. Like they're creating this area of smoke that has these noxious effects.
We have Malice in chat suggesting a rock. When you break it, an inflatable goblin decoy appears, like in the
I love
movie
it.
Airplane.
Yeah, or like anything from Capsule Core, or like the Metal Gear Solid decoys in Metal Gear Solid 5. I love that, and you can just make a deception check. The item can basically act as a deception check. Let's run with that, Malice. Let's do that. So, I'm gonna say item 1 is going to be a what would you call it? This rock that breaks into an inflatable goblin decoy. You want to call it like
Gobcoy.
Gobcoy? Let's just call. I'm gonna come up with
The
something.
other
You know,
Bob.
the other Bob. I'm gonna skip the
The
name
other
for now.
Jeremy decoy. It's just a guy named Jeremy just pops up. Hey guys.
You know what? I don't like that for the idea of like the initial concept, but I love that for like the next level of that item. So item level 1, it's a fake goblin. It's very obviously fake, but it's meant to distract you. And then like the greater version of this, it's like a homunculus of Jeremy pops up and he's like, "Hi." Buddy Rock. Ooh, I like the idea of Buddy Rock. Let me jump off that. How about
Insta friend? Or Instagob?
No. I want to keep it. Let's keep Gob out of it for now. But I like the name Buddy Rock. I want to add something to it, like, I'm thinking like.
I like the word Insta in it somewhere.
I'm definitely working with that. Give me a second. Like instant. I got it. Okay. So right now I got, and this is subject to change. I'm missing about this. Instant fake Buddy Rock. So the reason is that with the Goblin language, they don't have bigger meaning compound words. They have to make the concept as they rationalize it, and as they rationalize it, may be a little chaotic, but they do that from smaller words that they literally put together.
Can we shorten the word instant to insta?
You really want that insta, don't you?
Yeah. Honestly,
Right,
with the Goblin, I would think they would go with the easier.
Yes and no. Because, like, the word instant is the word, not insta. But I like the idea of insta mostly if we make it, like, a geminate, so, like, it's bleeding into the next word. So I think if we go, Insta-Buddy.
Insta-Bud?
Yeah.
Honestly, that sounds like something else, too. Insta-Bud?
Insta-Bud. When you absolutely positively got to get that 420 Insta-Bud. How about this? Insta-Buddy Ooh, you know what? Let's go for the obvious. Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock.
Mm-hmm. From Acme.
From Acme, that's right. Oh god, Acme is totally a goblin company. Okay, so Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock. So this is basically going to function as a deception check, right? It's going to be one. I feel like it should be one action, one interact action. What?
Really quick.
What?
With 40% more hot air.
40% more hot air. Oh boy. Now I'm trying to think. Would that be the Insta-Buddy having the hot air? It could turn to a balloon. Anyway. Okay, so one action, interact. Now, here's the question, chat. Do we want to make this decoy taking the same space as you or any space within 10 feet as you throw the distraction?
I kind of want to say within 5 feet. So it has to be either in front, like once, basically, essentially one square in front of you, behind you, to the side of you. And because I'm envisioning it looks like a rock, but when you throw it on the ground like a smoke bomb, you know.
Yeah, I see. Like it's like capsule core. Like you get like a little proof of smoke, and then the items there. Yeah, I definitely see that too. Like the smoke comes off, and like, and this clearly fake goblin is there, but any space within 5 feet. You know, I think we can do that, and I'm going to extend that language to say also your square as well. Mm-hmm. But it does not provide any bonus to AC for cover.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to also give it like the one round of concealment because the the little smoke, or no?
Nah. Okay. I think that's a bit too much. The smoke is just the deploying of the item.
Aesthetics.
Yeah, because if you're going to make that a new mechanic, then you're going to have to start planning that mechanic as well. Fair. So, one square up to 5 feet, sharing a space with you on deploy. Now, here's the question. What level do we want this item to be? Because that's, I believe, going to make the DC check different. Like, if it's going to be a smaller item level, it's going to have a smaller DC. If it's more like a mid-tier, more of a mid-tier.
No higher than 3. I would say around 2 to 3. No higher than 3. Because it's an obvious inflatable goblin.
Okay.
And I'm saying not one main for the fact that it's at least because it has that. It's a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? There's more quote unquote moving parts when it comes to this. So it wouldn't be just a first level item.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see 1 second. Does not grant any benefits from cover. From cover. Okay, cool. So we're seeing this as like an item level 3 sort of thing, right?
Highest, like I said, I wouldn't go beyond a level 3.
I was gonna say if we wanted to, I think we'd have to then. Okay. So Malice had cast invisibility on the user for one round. I think that could be a good second item. Absolutely. And maybe what we could do is we can make that like the major Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock. So like the lesser Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock is literally just the decoy, but the major one could be basically it creates a puff of smoke, it gives you invisibility for 1 round, and then after that round, the decoy is still left there.
Yeah. PJ, what if we actually change that? I kind of want to change that up a little bit. Mm-hmm. What if it becomes for 1 round, to a certain extent, any spell that would target you would instead target this Insta-Gob instead. But for that only 1 round.
I'm going to say no because A, we've already made that item, and B, that's a vastly different mechanic.
Okay.
Vastly different mechanic. Is it a good one? Yes. But it's very different from a decoy idea. You know what I'm trying to say?
I kind of disagree with you, but...
Because here's the reality, Michael. We've already made that item a few episodes ago with the a rod that basically makes a magic item go to it, or a magic spell go to it. Become hidden. You know what, Mouse? I think hidden might be a little stronger than it's more balanced than invisibility. You know what? Let's do this first.
Or maybe it'll give you a +3 bonus to a stealth check
Now here, let me ask you this, because I think we're talking about this. I want to make
for
sure
a hide ability, for like the hide action.
Yeah. Are we talking about the item level 3? Or are we talking about the more potent one?
This one.
This one. Okay, cool.
Basically, it'll give you a +3 on your stealth for hide actions. That's how I would language it.
Well, see, here's the thing we have to keep in mind. By having it in a square that you can occupy or share with the item, which is one of the ideas we talked about, you have to combat whether or not that decoy provides cover. And if it does, how much cover it provides, because that gives a mechanical benefit to hiding as well as to armor, or AC, if you will. So, if we want it to be a bonus to hiding, then, I feel like that is, you might as well just create a deployable wall instead of a decoy. You see what I'm saying? Because the decoy is there to make the initial deception check that will then detract the person to that item. Now, we could say that deception check, if they fail, gives you the bonuses to hide or whatever for a round.
I would say, yeah, the wall thing, yeah, but this is one of those things where, hey, this is another option. There's another thing for you to do this.
Sure, but again, it's a level 3 item. We have to make sure it fits a level 3 balance of gameplay. So my question is this, or actually, let me pitch this. So I like the ideas of the unseen, the hidden, the invisibility. I think that's going to be level 3. I think unseen might be the right level. So you make the decoy rock. Here comes the big inflatable goblin, or whatever, right? Then what that does is it forces a level 3 basic deception check. Deception DC. And then if they fail, that gives you a bonus.
Oh. We are dropping frames. We're dropping some frames. I'm not sure if you guys could still hear me or not, or if PJ just dropped out, but PJ, let us know.
Sorry, my brilliant computer switched to airplane mode. I don't know how. And looks like it's still in there. There we go. Okay. So like I was saying, sorry about that, everyone. Can you see me now? Am I okay?
Yeah, you see you.
So,
you see you.
Yeah, I think we're kind of suffering from the same problem we tend to have, where we try to put way too much into a tiny package, and we have to have a clear focus idea of how to execute this. So if all we want to do is set up a low-level, level 3 balanced decoy, what's the benefit of that decoy going to be? Does it give you the unseen trait, which is awesome? Does it give you bonuses to hiding, which is also awesome? We just have to figure out what that is. I think if we make it, versus the deception DC, now we have something that works mechanically.
Honestly, at level 3, I would say it would just give you a bonus to your stealth. Like I said before, bonus to your stealth to hide.
Okay.
Easy peasy like that.
Sure.
Something super simple. Yeah, it would be like maybe at most an uncommon item. I can see it as.
Yeah. So basically what I think, because I think we have this, we just have to make sure we're still within that lane. So it's going to be a deception DC, right? Depending on their critical success, failure, critical failure, you're going to get different bonuses to your stealth to hide.
Yeah.
There you go. Boom. Look at that. Hold on. Let me write that down. So deception DC.
No, wait. You said deception DC?
Yeah. So they have to make a perception check against the deception DC. Well, no, I'm sorry. They have to make a perception check against the perception DC, I guess? Yeah. That sounds about right.
And if they fail, then they get the plus to the. Oh, wait. Honestly, because this is what's confusing me. I think honestly it would be easier just giving a flat plus 3 to stealth, which only for your hide action.
Okay, so I think the thing is we need to then change the item because like if the idea is I'm setting up this remote decoy, the decoy is a distraction that gives me the bonus to stealth, right?
Yeah.
I want to just create an item that makes you hidden. That's basically a smoke bomb or like a shadow bomb, and those are all super cool, but those are different items.
Yeah.
So the idea is you're getting the benefit of the bonus stealth because they're distracted by your Insta-Buddy Rock. And we can do it. We can make the Insta-Buddy Rock, and then we can just make like the Shadow Rock or something that also just makes you hidden. If you want to, we can even make it so it makes you hidden so long as you're inside the smoke bomb, the shadow bomb, kind of like how Batman does this thing. So we can make multiples.
Yeah.
We can make different.
No, I understand. Yeah, like I said, for me, it's just simple language. At least at this level, I like me personally. Yeah, a flat. Hey, pop this out. You get a base plus 3 to stealth for hide action. If you use a hide action, that's it. Like end of story. There's not that much moving parts there.
Yeah, but the flaw with that is that the more simplified you make something, the more powerful it becomes. When you make something so simplified that it just gives you innate bonuses, even temporary, then you have to ask yourself, what's really the balance there, right? So like if you say, I have this item, I pop it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to plus 4 to being hidden or like whatever.
I would say it would be for your
You know what I
next action. Like it has to be your action. It has to be occurred to the action immediately after you popping this off.
Oh, that's what I was going to look up.
Because it wouldn't make, honestly, if you pop this off and three turns down the 3 turns down the line, they wouldn't be distracted anymore by this inflatable goblin thing in the middle of the battlefield. It's like, okay, it's there. I'm still looking at you.
Ooh, flat DC 8 check to notice the user. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at Malice in the chat. Makes you hidden. Now let me ask you, Malice, is the flat DC 8 check for the decoy rock for the hidden trait or for the hidden effect? While you're doing that, I'm going to keep that for there for now. Wait for them to respond. Because I think, honestly, I kind of like the idea of a decoy providing a benefit to the user. We could also circumvent the decoy with another item, which we could easily write up. We already have the basis. And just say, like, you pop this item, it creates this black smoke. While you're still in the black smoke, you get, like, +2 or 4 to hide checks, either until you leave or whatever time limit we want to impose on that.
Do you think we're just making, at that point, just making it more...
Okay.
Like, honestly, I have a feeling... Because the fact that inflated Gobbo and then inflated Jeremy, those are just two, for this item, be good 1-2 step. That's it.
Well, exactly, yeah, and that's what we talked about doing. But I think there's been some confusion on how to best do that. Okay, so Malice is saying, determine a flat DC 8 check to notice the user. Basically, determine which one is real. Okay, let us do that as well.
I would say it would only be for the turn that it pops off, though, because like I said, once again, 3 turns down the line, you're gonna notice. Wait, that's a flammable goblin. I know it.
Yeah, no.
It's been there for 3 minutes.
No conflict there. This is very much a 1-round item. You use this 1 round to give you the benefit. So flat DC 8 check to notice the user. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, what's the success rate on that? Yeah, about approximately a 30%. No, a little bit more. That'd be about a 40%, almost. Yeah, between 40 and 50% success rate. I'll go with that. Flat DC 8 check. And what I like about that is that it doesn't matter if you're trained or expert in perception. The chance to figure it out is the same across the board. I like that. Flat DC to determine decoy from fake. Now watch you put this in the show, and all of a sudden, a bunch of like goblins drop these things, and everyone gets ate up. And they're like, yeah, no, it's clearly the goblin. And it's like, well, there you go.
Honestly, I can see Rufa actually making use of this item too. Actually.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, and what if Rufa modifies it? Like he tinkers with it a little bit. It turns out it's not. It's just like it's a cardboard cutout of Rufa, like in a pose.
Okay, so here's the language I'm using. So if the target fails the DC-8 flat check, the goblin is considered hidden to that target. So if there's a bunch,
for goblins?
Well, I'm just using that as language right now. But the idea is, so if there's a bunch of dudes, right? You're fighting a bunch of dudes, and you use the decoy, and only one of them sees the decoy goes off, and thus has that distraction or that confusion. That's the only one that's going to suffer. Whereas if everyone else then turns like after the fact, they're going to be like, no, that's clearly a fake, because they're not seeing the full act. They're just going, no, that's the real goblin or the real person.
I still like the idea of a battlefield full of cutout Rufas.
You know what? We could definitely do some like seven Ronin, seven samurai stuff, and you could just put up a whole bunch of fake Rufas in town in these very, elaborate
and after the
poses.
battle, like giving it to the town folk, like, I'll autograph it. Here you go. This is my autograph. Yes. Here, there you go. Yes, you are a fan of Rufa now. Yes.
Yeah. And honestly, come to think of it, this is a great bit of like goblin science items for all of the rogue goblins that are going to be popping up later.
Yeah. This would be Rufa's version of that Johnny Cage's fatality.
I love that. Like you sign it.
Yeah. To my greatest fan from Rufa.
I love Johnny Cage. I love his story so much in 11. Such a good story. Like especially when like old Johnny meets young Johnny, and like they're both a-holes, but old Johnny's a little wiser, and he's like, ugh, I was this annoying when I was young. I need to apologize to my ex-wife. Okay, so the Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock, item level 3. Basically one action to interact. You can choose, it'll be in a square within 5 feet of you, target one creature. That creature has to make a flat DC 8 check to determine if the decoy is fake or not. On a fail, the person that used it is considered hidden to the one target that failed that save. I'm going to say for 1 round. Because that way, after you use both of your actions, ideally to move and strike, it's kind of obvious. Okay, so we have that. Do we want to make the next one the Jeremy Rock? Do we want to make the next one something else?
You know what? Let's make the Jeremy Rock really quick, because pretty much it's already done. It'd just be a more powerful effect, and we can then move on to something else.
Sounds like I'll make it the major Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock. Reap Psyche, yeah. I love the reference Metal Gear Solid 5, because we were totally saying that this is like when Snake, or not, what was his name? It wasn't Snake, it was, oh god, he was the leader of the Diamond Dogs. Anyway, the point is, yeah, just like that. Quit giving away my ideas. Oh, Malice, you little sneak. You stole it like a stealer. Okay, so the major Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock summons a... Now, how do we want to do this? It's definitely going to be a Jeremy. Do we want this to be...
I just had a thought. It's like one of those inflatable, armed 2-man, but in the shape of Jeremy.
Oh god, I love that. I'm just... So how is this going to be a more potent version? Obviously, it's going to be summoning...
Because it's moving!
Sure, but it does do the same effect? Does it do, like, more effect? Like, they have to keep just saving every round?
For the sake of simplicity, the DC would be higher then.
Okay, so maybe we can make that, like, an actual save or whatever, as opposed to a flat DC check. Okay.
And honestly, I like the idea of giving it also for the round that it's deployed. It basically becomes what do you call it? like in MMORPGs, we use the provoke ability that spells or whatever would target that instead of the user for only
Yeah, and
one round.
yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, we have the item that attracts magic spells. I
Taunt,
think that
yes,
was
taunt,
yeah,
reap.
exactly, taunt. So I think the best way to make this higher level buddy work then is if we make it a DC instead of a
Mm-hmm.
flat check. So now they have to willfully basically break the taunt effect. And I think it also might not be a bad idea to give it multiple rounds. Nothing crazy, 2 rounds tops. But
Mm.
that kind of at least presents a palatable taunt effect, if you will.
I disagree. I still think it should be one round because, like I said, game wise, you would notice like after like once it's deployed.
Yes, Malice, you just read my brain. Thank you. Yeah, Malice read my brain. Because you're right. Multiple rounds, it's hard to explain,
Yeah.
gets a little broken. But I was just about to say, every creature or multiple creatures have to make the save as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
just one. And just as I was thinking it, Malice for the win.
There you
Malice,
go.
you get a hero point at your table. If your GM has a problem,
Mm-hmm.
tell them to call me. I'm so lonely. Anyway, so it's going to be instead of a flat DC 8, it's going to be first of all, what's the item level you want to make this? 7?
Yeah, 7 sounds fine.
Okay.
And this, I would say, I would up this availability to rare.
Yeah, I mean, these are all going to be hard to get because they're going to be goblin made. Reap Psyche says upgrading from the inflatable clown to Mirage clothes in Apex Legends. Yeah, also, what's it called? That person from Rainbow Six, the online shooter,
Mm-hmm.
where she makes like hologram decoys.
Honestly, in my head, I'm envisioning the inflatable airplane pilot from the movie Airplane. That's the Goblin version, the third level one. This one is the whack because it's higher because it does move a little more. So it's like it's moving, it's coming right at you.
I love that. I'm making a quick writing here. Perception, DC.
Like honestly, after like one round, you're like, wait, what? Oh, that's stupid.
Where is it?
Or like when like ninjas in anime, where when they do the disappearing act, it's like a log.
I'm looking forward to them making a ninja class. Kind of going with the monk, where it's like a
Shadow
little bit
Dancer?
of life and a little bit of the shadow dancer is kind of, but I mean like an act like ninja. Pathfinder First Edition had a ninja class, which was a combination, I think, of rogue and why can I not remember? It might have just been a variant of rogue. I think it was the rogue archetype for ninja that they then expanded upon into its own class.
Honestly, I like the fact that with with Inventor being the first new, it wasn't in the previous editions Pathfinder release. That was really cool. I would like to see more like totally new stuff, not just revamped stuff from older editions.
Yeah, I do like the revamped a little bit because it's kind of nostalgic, and also it allows us a way to have the classes in Pathfinder 1 that we liked in Pathfinder 2, because the two systems are very different now.
Yeah.
But I also like the whole brand new stuff, like the Inventor. And trying to think.
I mean, it'll be fun seeing the what do you call it, Inquisitor if they ever do it again.
Yeah. Well, I'm really curious about the Inquisitor too, just because the Inquisitor was such a very, very different form of like divine-based class.
Would you say the Inquisitor would that be a full class on its own, or would it be an archetype?
If they go with the Inquisitor as it was in Pathfinder First Edition, absolutely its own class. It had its own unique set of spells. It had its own mechanics. It wasn't just smiting. Like that's kind of the thing about D&D 5e. I think they realized a lot of classes are kind of suffering certain damage or damage powers, so they started giving everything a smite.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what?
Ranger's gonna smite, Cleric gets a smite. I'm like, what? Rogue's gonna get a smite now?
Yeah. You know what? I would actually wouldn't mind seeing a psionic class. I used to hate the idea of a psionic in a fantasy setting, but as I'm getting older, I'm consuming more different media stuff. a psionic would actually... It sounds interesting now.
I think when handled properly, the psionic can be very, very fun. Pathfinder 1, I'm sure everyone here who's played Pathfinder 1 psionics know the Pathfinder 1 psionics were disgusting. They were busted. They were so powerful.
Like, what if you combine it with, like, a mesmerist?
I mean, I feel like mesmerism kind of comes from the psychic class, right? Or the psionics class.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it'd be kind of like a psionic bard. Which, I mean,
I was
maybe
going to say more of
kind
a
fun.
psionic investigator or a psionic rogue as a mesmerist.
I don't know. I think it's tough because I know that the psionic rogue is called a soul knife, and you kind of make that kind of like custom psi
But what if
weapon.
it's like, what is it, psionic, like the rogue's trickster subclass would be a mesmerist, would be the mesmerist version.
Maybe. I'm almost done writing
Rick,
the Jeremy one.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Rick posted, "Hey, PJ and Michael, I did. They are, except the mesmerist."
Yeah. Psionics are definitely something. I'll be curious. You know, that's what I love. You never know what they're going to build next. So, like, I'm looking forward to that.
Reap Psyche posted, "Ninja/Archer was the most broken combat thing I ever saw. Numerous range/sneak attack/crit attacks around."
Yeah, it's kind of like the Zen Archer that could just flurry of blows with an arrow, with a bow and arrow, and just light you up.
But anyway, I think we're pretty good with the
I
Insta
think
journey
so.
now.
Yep, the major Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock, which we can flavors, will just be a poof and like a talking Jeremy who's gonna be like, I don't know why I'm here.
No, I want to see it as a wacky arm inflatable tube man now. Just the idea behind it is hilarious. And one of the reasons why it only lasts for one round is the little engine, wherever that's making it inflatable, just like peters out after one round. It's like, like deflates.
Yeah, I love that. Let's see. Treat the user as hidden. Okay, cool. So, I think we have a fun little item here. 2 levels. It's the Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock, level 3. 1 action interact, 1 square up to 5 feet, sharing a space with you on the same square. Putting this decoy in your square does not grant any benefits from cover, but a flat DC 8 check to determine if the decoy is fake. On a fail, basically if the target you choose fails the roll, the user is considered hidden to that target for 1 round. The major Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock, aka the Jeremy Noodle, same as the previous, but now there's a perception DC basic of item level 7. And all creatures within 30 feet of the decoy must make the save. On a fail, all target creatures treat the user as hidden. So now we have a fun goblin. It's silly, it's effective, and who knows, maybe some will pop up. A little tchotchke.
Yeah, Reap Saki posted, "There was supposed to be a rather tough encounter in Kingmaker where you get attacked by wyverns on a boat and our ninja archer downed them all by the time they got on the boat."
Damn, it's that range. And the
So,
sneak attack, too.
is there another one we want to do, or yeah?
Well, I know we were talking about doing like a shadow rock that kind of gives hidden or invisibility.
I also remember we were talking about something like a Gabo athlete's foot or something.
Oh yeah, orc foot.
Orc toe.
Orc toe. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because that would be actually, I had a good idea for it now.
Oh, what's the idea?
The penalty would impede their like speed. Orc toe would impede speed.
I've liked that a lot. Ooh, I like that. What if we make it a multi-stage thing?
Yeah.
So the first time you get it, you're flat-footed. Sure, maybe I don't know. But then the second stage, if you don't pass that save, you lose 10 foot of speed.
Yeah.
The third round, you are considered, what is the word?
Slowed?
Maybe no, slow. Let's make that last. There's another one. Restrained.
Restrained.
On the third one, you're considered restrained, meaning you can't physically move, but your body can still take all the actions.
With all those stages and everything, I would just say this. I don't mind it, but it's gonna be a higher level, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
It would not be a level 3 thing.
No, I'm not looking for level 3. If the item works, the item works. In fact, we could make this like an item level, I don't know, 8, 9?
Reap Psyche posted, advanced stages causes you to have to roll dex saves or trip over your swollen feet.
I love that. Ooh, because then that knocks you prone. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create a maximum of, what do you think, 3 or 4 stages? Maybe 3?
3 stages. Let's make it simple, 3.
Make it easy on ourselves. Okay, so it's going to be 3 stages. Orc Toe. So I'm going to skip the fluff and just get the stage. So stage 1, what do we want stage 1 to be? Is that going to be the like minus 10 feet to speed? Or do you want to go?
Yeah, it would be the minus to. Yeah, it would be the minus to speed, I would say.
Okay, so minus 10 speed. Now stage 2. Let's see. 2 is the Rick M the GM also says 3. Good idea. So Reap says the stage causes you to. Okay. See, Rick says slow speed.
I like the idea of. What is it? Well, God, what did I just say? I just wish I could play. I wish I could play playback right now.
Let's see. So Reap Psyche is suggesting 2 tripping 3. So they have the tripping 3 effect, and then the last one would be restrained? Question mark. Because that's the thing. Restrained means you can't physically run, but you can still, I think, take actions. Slowed means you can take actions, but you lose one. Let me see here. Yeah, reduce the number of actions by your slowed value.
Okay, let me ask you this: which is more which is worse, slow or being knocked prone?
Slow. Slow is much worse because you lose however many actions for the value of the slow. So if you're knocked prone, you can take an action to get back up, move and attack. It's kind of like, okay, that was nice. Okay. But slowed is like you only have 1 or 2 actions around.
Then how about this? First stage slow, second stage we can kind of mix it up with I think what Reap posted. You got to make a dex save or be knocked prone, and then the third stage you get slow too.
Okay. Yeah, I also think that the slow 2 is good. Let's see here. Rick MGM says stage 2 slow, speed by 10 or more, reflex save -2. Okay, so
I would not say immobilized.
I like the idea of immobilization, but I can definitely see the issue there. Well, I guess we have to think of it this way. The idea is that your feet, your body is slowly losing its ability to act, right?
I was going to say, the way I'm envisioning it is your feet just swelling up.
I love Reap Psyche's response. Immobilized, you am become toe.
You are the toe.
We am toe.
Wiggle your big toe.
Okay, chat. Crazy thought.
Don't make us polymorph into a big toe.
No, God, no. But funny, saving for later. No, here's my thought. What if we add a 4th stage? The 4th stage, after 4 attempts and failing, then you get immobilized. Of course, with the other effects still there. Basically immobilized, slow. Because when you're immobilized, you can still attack. But if you lose those actions and you're immobilized, you're at a massive detriment. That's a very interesting, potent crowd control.
Honestly, I'd like the idea of making it simple at 3 and then you're slowed. And at that point, you just say your feet just become swelled up like tomatoes and you're just swelled, like slow too. Oh, God, yeah. I can't move. It's hard to move, you know?
Yeah. How about, let me see here. Pip. Sorry. Rick M. the GM really likes the idea of slowed then immobilized.
I like the idea of honestly falling, you get up, and then the next turn, you're just slowed. You're slowed until you get rid of it. Let's imagine being slowed too for entire combat.
Well, I think here's the thing. We're interpreting slow as less movement. Slow mechanically gives you less actions, which is much worse. Because it's one thing to say, oh, when I do move, I move at 10 speed less, but you can move all 3 times. But if you have slowed 2, that means you lose 10 actions a round. And and depending on how you save, it can kind of denature until you lose it. But I think what might make this very, very fun and very dangerous is if we go stage 1, minus 10 speed. Stage 2, tripping 3. So like as you're trying to move, you're losing that coordination, you're falling down a lot. Stage 3 is slowed. So now you're tripping and you're losing actions and you're losing distance. And then finally you're immobilized and slowed. You know, so it's like that's the big bad stage to be at. So even when you are attacked, you can only use 1 action a round to punch someone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I could live with that. That I could live with. I just don't like immobilization. I'm just like,
yeah.
Make it 3. Make it 3. Make it less work, less of a headache. Also,
I mean, it's really honestly, if anything, adding more stages is less of a headache because it gives you more opportunities to save the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing about stages is you only go to the next stage if you attempt to save and fail, and it gets worse.
Mm-hmm. So would you say there needs to be like a fortitude save at each stage?
Yeah, that's the whole point. So the idea is each stage, it's basically a growing repercussion for not succeeding the save, which we can make a reflex save if you want, or a fortitude save, whatever you think is more applicable. Yeah, Rube Psyche is saying slowed is more interesting than immobilized and doesn't leave you as vulnerable to just total dispatch like a coup de grace would. And that's what my thought would be like the ultimate bad step would be stage 4, where you're both slowed and immobilized. So even when you're immobilized, you can still fight to protect yourself, as per the description, but you're going to have less actions to do so. So let's see, stage 2, tripping, right? So you're kind of, you're falling.
Yeah. You're falling over. Basically, you're not used to having your feet basically swollen the entire time.
Yeah. And then let's see. So stage 3, we're going to make it slow 2. And then lastly, the super terrible secret stage 4, immobilize. I will even say immobilize until save. Or is that too,
basically you just need to succeed on a fortitude save to clear the whole thing up.
Yeah, so the idea is the first time you get Orc Toe, which saying it out loud is hilarious. You fail the fortitude save, you only lose a minus 10 to your speed. Depending on who you are, that's either negligible or rough. But then the second time you fail, you get tripping 2. So now as you're moving, you have to make a dex save or fall prone and then be prone. And then once you fail that, so now you've had 2 fails in a row, you're now slowed 2. You've lost 2 actions.
Reap Psyche posted, the save regresses at 1 stage, right?
I think it depends. Yeah, I think it's 1 stage. A critical success does 2 stages, and I want to say there are certain abilities that negate multiples.
Yeah, like a restore spell or something like that.
Yeah. So we can definitely.
Honestly, I think was it a remove disease? I want to say.
Do you want to make it a disease effect? We can easily make it.
Yeah, I was basically playing with the whole idea it would be a disease.
Okay.
Honestly, there's also not that many diseases in Pathfinder or any other tabletop game really.
There's a few. There's one.
But you don't encounter that many.
True. That's true. You don't get to encounter that, and that's correct. There was an encounter I put in Adelphon Prime, but Chionibus didn't take it when she was going to the bounty board. There was a thing about like rat trap, and the whole idea was like, oh, I'm going to go to the tavern and fight a bunch of low-level rats. But the surprise was it was actually a large mutated rat that had that rat disease, which I cannot remember off the top of my head. But its name was Rat Trap, and if you guys fought it, there's a potential you would have gotten that rat disease, and those end terribly. Okay, so immobilize, and then so it's gonna be a fortitude save?
Yeah, it would make sense for it to be a fort save rather than what reflex or will save.
Do we want to make this Rick and the GM says remove disease will work. Pathfinder 1E used to have them, especially with the Moangi Expanse campaign guide. Okay, cool. There you go. Do we want to make this like an area of effect so when they move through it, multiple people can be targeted, or do we want to make this like a bomb or a vial that only affects one person?
You know what? I would say it would be more of a splash attack, especially if they're not wearing shoes or something. Because there are
Okay.
some races that don't wear shoes.
Okay. Hey, no problem. So the idea is the feet have to be exposed.
Yeah. Skin
Okay.
contact. I would say skin contact.
Okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna say a burst of 10 feet. 5, 10. Yeah, that's actually pretty big. Um,
And would you say this as a, I guess, bomb or whatever it is, or poison, disease type of thing? Does it dissipate after one round, or does those squares become just for the whole combat no spots? Best way I can say.
that's a good question. Well, let's pitch that to the audience quickly. Chat. This effect, this Orc Toe effect, as it's being thrown into an AOE of like a 10-foot burst, right? So it's probably more like 20 feet entirely. Do we want to make that one round until combat's over, or a series of rounds so that the risk is there for a little while?
Me personally, I would say one round, maybe for the fact that this is like maybe there's two versions. One of them is a natural thing you get out in jungles and swamps where orcs frequent, but there's also a version where this is like a man-made disease. Because it's a man-made disease, it dissipates within a round or two.
Yeah. Rick in the GM says I can post the pages from the PDF in the Jungle Mwangi Expanse that has a disease if you'd like. Yeah, sure. If you want to, why don't you go ahead and post that in our Discord, Rick M. Put that up there and let us know. I know a little bit, and I say a little bit, about the effects of disease from the book. And honestly, it's one of those things where you learn the whole thing, and then because you don't get to use it, you slowly forget the rules. So that'll help.
Malice posted 4 rounds.
I mean, I like that because that gives multiple opportunities for people to move through it. Last question.
I was gonna say I kind of want to do 3 rounds, honestly.
Either way is fine. But 1 to 4 rounds just because it's got 4 stages. Last idea, or last question. Okay, yeah. So Malice is saying he's agreeing it does require flesh contact. I wanted to confirm with the chat if we wanted to make it only flesh contact, or if we wanted to make it like a mist.
How about this? The natural version of disease is flesh contact, but the man-made thing could be kind of a run-round mist that could be blown out with like a gust spell or something.
Okay, cool. So I like this because now we have it naturally occurring as this kind of, if you will, difficult terrain, but we can basically weaponize that difficult terrain into a mist, still of the 10-foot burst area for 4 rounds, and that way skin can get in contact with it, breathing it in contact with it.
I would say as a mist though, it will be less round, like 1 round or something, mainly for the fact that you could just gust spell. Like a lot of these mist stuff, you have a gust spell.
Yeah. Fog. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's make it kind of like a fog effect that lasts. Let's do a fog effect that lasts for.
I like Malice's one. If it's not 1 round, 1d4 rounds.
Yeah, I like that because you never know how much those things are going to hang around for. Okay, cool. So 1d4 rounds fog, and a wind can blow it away.
Yeah, because with mist and fog type effects like this, the counter spell for this is a gust spell or some kind of gust of wind.
Exactly.
Like this definitely would not be useful if you are in a very windy area. I can imagine I'm gonna use this windy area. It blows back at you.
Yeah, and the best part is like when it exists as like the difficult terrain, obviously you can't, shoo it away, but you just have to make sure you don't make physical contact with it.
And also it also creates some really creative tactical stuff, but like what if you use this mist and then have somebody use a gust spell or whatever to move it to the enemy?
Yeah, I like this a lot. Guys, I think this is a really fun kind of weaponized disease that the goblins and the orcs could use, especially against our heroes in Edge of Legend.
Nah.
Recurring naturally. Physical contact must be made with source. Okay. I think we have some really fun stuff here.
Yep, and I'm looking at time. We are nearly at the end.
Yes, we are. I believe we are at the time to say
Yeah.
goodbye. I'm going to do a quick little read of the 3 items that we made today. The first one is the Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock. 1 action, interact 1 square up to 5 feet distance, sharing a space with you if you wish on the same square. Putting this decoy in your square does not grant any benefits from cover. But with a flat DC 8 check to a targeted creature of your choosing, they have to determine if the decoy is fake. On a fail, the user is considered hidden to the 1 target that failed to save for 1 round. The major Insta-Buddy Decoy Rock, item level 7, same as previous one, but now there's a perception DC of 23, basic for level 7, and all creatures within 30 feet of the decoy must make the save. On a fail, all targeted creatures treat the user as hidden. Last but not least, Orc Toe. Good old-fashioned Orc Toe. It is a disease effect that can be thrown and affect a 10-foot burst area for 1d rounds, counts as fog, and operates as such. A base fort save DC, we need to figure out what the item level is going to be. Stage 1, minus 10 speed. Stage 2, tripping 2. Stage 3, slow 2. And stage 4, immobilize. Fortitude save to backtrack 1, critical, obviously backtrack 2. Going to remove the disease with a remove disease spell. And there you go. When this occurs naturally in the environment, physical contact must be made with the source of the disease. So I think we have some fun stuff. We have tactical control and tactical distraction for setup, both really good. Rick and the GM, thank you so much for posting that on the At the Table Discord. I got all the alerts. Thank you so much. And yes, let this be a lesson to all of you using diseases. Remember, just like other save effects, you have to save and whittle it down some, stage by stage. Yeah, I did a lot of Pathfinder 1E, but then when 5E came out and I was kind of playing nothing but that because no one else was playing Pathfinder, I was slowly forgetting some of my older rules.
Yeah, me, I just play whatever that gets offered to me.
Fair. Hey, same here. Like, I have a friend who wants to do a Wrath and Glory game as well as a Conan game. So,
Nice.
if I get to play it, I want to pick it up and learn it.
Definitely. And I got some games down the line that I'm planning on running myself, and one of them is very interesting, especially if you like that classic, the classic video game Earthbound.
Oh, is it Kids on Bikes?
Nope, not Kids on Bikes. It's a little indie game that I stumbled on recently.
Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing that in action.
But anyway, I believe it is that time, so let's do our farewells. I believe I'm going to go first, right?
Absolutely. Mr. Mecca please tell them who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, as always, I'm Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the interwebs, such as my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow, that's MRKAPAO, or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff, such as my YouTube channel, which is called Fantastic Tales of Adventure, and on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm one of the hosts of Toys Alive, where we talk about toy news and nostalgia stuff. Some really cool stuff that's coming up for me is, actually, right after this, I will be recording a interview with a podcast called What Did I Just Buy?, where I talk about my tabletop and TTRPG collection. I will post that link once it's up. It's a pre-recorded thing. And also this Thursday, I will be on Live Action Roleplay. I will be helping create a TTRPG game based on redesigning an Olive Garden.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so when you're here, you're family. How about you, PJ?
Whether you like it or not, you're family. My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Come and hang out. Let's share videos. I'm going to hopefully get some TikTok stuff shot this week. So many ideas. When I'm not here with Mr. Michael Powell at the table, you can find me here and him and everyone else at the Edge of Legend Pathfinder 2nd Edition homebrew game, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Last episode, there was this amazing new city they ran into, and they found out that one of the 5 generals of the Big Bad Green Army happens to be there, and maybe one of our little players ran into them. So come see what happens next week, or sorry, tomorrow, where we pick up where we left off. And until then, I love you all. You're tremendous. Hopefully we can share some more amazing news as 2021 continues. And I will see you here, same Nat time, same Nat channel, at the table. Be safe, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.